Hey guys, we're back doing an Only Fathers live stream right now. We're trying to help out anybody out there who needs help. Um, I know a couple years ago my father passed away and miss the guy every day, but now it's my turn to take the lead in the family. I've got a lot of nephews and grandkids that are really young, and we try to guide those people as well as we work with over 32 nonprofits in Washington State. We try to help out everybody that we can. So here I am today, open and available. Go ahead and follow along. Go ahead and ask your questions, and we'll help you out in the chat. And we'll guide you in any way that you see fit. I do not know everything, but I was raised by the older generation. Um, my dad was definitely a boomer, and I learned a lot of stuff. It takes a community to truly raise somebody nowadays, and I feel that you should never stop learning because there's so much good information out there. So we're here today to help you guys out and give you some words of wisdom or give you what you need. We're here for you. So it's hard because um, if something costs you your peace, then it could be too expensive, or um, you have to make some good decisions in life. But by having the knowledge and information, the sooner you are to get that information, then usually the better life will go. And this is not something for any one person to survive by themselves. So go ahead and ask me some questions, and we'll help you guys out. If you live in the Washington State area, we actually help a lot of nonprofits on Eastern and Western Washington. So come along with us on a journey. And if you're just looking for someone as a father figure, you miss your old man or your uncle or your grandpa, then we could be here too to help encourage you along the way. So I know in the last couple of weeks, a lot of people that I've known have passed away, and some of them were even younger than I was. Like my son, he came home. He's an adult now, and he was at work. Somebody called the work location and asked for one of the other kids who was working on the shift. And when he talked to the phone, it was his mom. So the kid took a 10-minute break, talked to his mom on the phone in the manager's office, and then immediately grabbed all of his stuff and went to run out the front door. And the rest of the crew was like, "Where are you going? You're only like 2 hours into your shift." And he told everybody that his dad was in a car accident last night. And so that kid just went off to work and had no idea that within just a few hours his dad would be dead. So life will be unexpected, and it can take you away in ways that you don't expect. So I'm here to help support people that are dealing with tragedies as well as needing guidance. I'm not saying that my way is right or wrong. I'm just saying that I'm here to lend a hand, give out some advice, and possibly help people in time of need. I know that we did some streams a couple months back, and it actually gave you access in different states on where you should go to get additional help for, like, you're behind on your power bill, or you're having problems getting enough food, or other stuff, just help getting you back on your feet. And it was actually some really good information on that. We do other things as well. Like you can kind of see back in the corner over here, there's the nose of a van. It's a hot shot rig we've done some videos on YouTube and other things. And we're just giving out more information here and there. And we'll be doing more of these. I'm still learning, still getting used to it. But I think we'll do better along the way. But one of the goals that's helped me out my entire life to have a nice network of friends and family, people that I can depend upon if I need to. It does require a lot of work on my side as well. But the important thing for me on my life was to do the right thing, even when no one's watching, because it's tough. Your reputation is built in private, and it's very easy to ruin a reputation. It's hard to build it up. But once you have that, you can go a long ways. Howdy, howdy. So my father taught me that when I was really young and I started working. He said, always be truthful at work, even if it's to your own detriment. And once you build that reputation, it'll precede you. So if somebody lies and blames something on you, then the owner will easily follow what you have to say because you always tell the truth, even if it's to your own downfall. So I've done that in my life, and it's actually helped me out. I was working at this one company for about 5 years, and one of the other employees made a huge mess in one of the company trucks, and he said, "Oh no, it was Chris. He left it that way after his last shift," and I didn't even have to say anything. The owner says, "Well, no, Chris always keeps his truck clean and always takes care of everything, and if it was him, he would have immediately fessed up to it." And it was kind of nice that the owner automatically would vouch for me because I always tried to be truthful. I always did what was right, and I always took my blame if I made a mistake. I owned up to it. So the other thing that would go along with doing the right thing, even when no one's watching, is own your mistakes quickly, because accountability does earn respect faster than excuses. It's a good, important thing to have. Howdy, howdy. If there's anything that you need questions for or anything, go ahead and shoot a comment in there and we'll work along with it. I'm actively keeping track of the comments right now. So I know that I take care of, I'm the eldest in my family right now, including my wife's family and my family. Both of our parents are in terrible health or died, so they can't lead anymore. So I try to help out and be a good guiding member for the family as well as the community. We work with over 32 nonprofits in Washington State. I regularly have free classes to help people out and guide them, especially with digital literacy, giving people the skills and access to technology that they need, because not everybody has that in their life, or they don't have a person that is readily available in their immediate family that can help with that. So I know there's a lot of elderly people that I have to help still, that they have kids and grandkids that know technology, but they're off doing their own life, or they're out of state, or they're just too busy being, some high up person in Amazon and can't help out their grandma all the time. So we try to help out wherever we can, and we try to do good where we see that we can help, because we can only do so much, but I try to do everything I can to help people out. So yeah, things will go pretty smooth. If you guys have any questions that you need, advice, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, any manly type thing you need help with, changing a tire, I have quite a bit of knowledge on that. The reason why I say manly is because I'm a man, so I've learned a lot of that stuff. So I'd gladly help you guys out. Also with technology, we're dealing, like you can see in my background, I'm in a full tech repair station in the back of the warehouse right now, surrounded by all kinds of technology. So we would love to help people out with that as well. So yeah, even if you're building your first custom computer or something else, got any questions, go ahead and let me know. We'll help you out. Howdy, howdy, howdy. It's hard to make decisions sometimes if you don't have a lot of information based on the minimal information. If you just choose one side or the other, some of your results can be as easy as a coin flip, but then your chances of success are also a coin flip. So the short-term pleasure usually has to be set aside for long-term interest. The younger you are when you start investing in a long-term plan, as long as that goal and plan is solid and sound, you can do pretty good. Matter of fact, I remember when I was really young, I started my own company, and I was just out of college. I was 23 years old or so, 22, and I had a small little computer repair business. Didn't think I was going to get much business, so I took on a couple of side jobs. I was working 2 full-time jobs, and I did the computer business on nights and weekends on top of that. So I was working like between 80 and 100 hours a week. And it was tough for 3 or 4 months there. But one of the jobs I was doing, I was working for a school district painting 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And while I was at work, I got a phone call from Dick Dickerson. I think his name is actually Richard Dickerson. It's kind of funny. in our Senate here in Washington State, down there at Olympia at the Capitol building. And he called me up, and he was actually looking for small businesses to represent Washington State at a big fundraiser event in Washington, D.C. And this was back when young Bush, George W., was president. So this is probably, 15, 20 years ago. And he said, well, we're going to have dinner with the president. We're looking for people to represent Washington State. And for $1,500 a plate, you can sit down and have dinner with the president. And I thought that was kind of cool. Black tie event, with tuxedos and everything else. But I did pass up that opportunity because I wasn't super political at the time. And I wanted to make sure that if there's only a couple spots available, that those would be going to people that would truly enjoy a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And then a couple years later, I was going through some of the family effects from, like, my grandmother passed away when I was just a child, and she had all of these letters that she had typed up or handwritten out to different presidents along the way, and like John F. Kennedy and some of the other ones. And she had an entire bound, like, photo album book with return letters. It had the envelopes and the letters with the presidential seal on it and everything, where they actually took time enough to write letters, type them up, or hand sign the bottoms of them if their secretary helped them write them. And there's probably 15 or 20 letters in there, and I was very impressed by that some people actually take the time to respond. I think nowadays handwritten letters are pretty slim to none to get them from anybody. I think the youth aren't even very good at learning how to properly mail out a letter, unless the high school that they're in actually works on that, or the family helps them with it. So it's pretty cool. You can have some interesting experiences in life. I almost had dinner with the president, but I turned him down. I had a chance to go on a Antarctica research crew, put everything I own into storage, and spend 6 months in Antarctica. But I decided that that sounded very cold, miserable, and not for me. Some people can handle that alienation, being so alone with only a couple people for 6 months, and that's cool. But it was just something I wasn't interested in. But I feel that at a young age, you should come up with some ideas and be open to new ideas, so that if something like that opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, comes up, you can actually take it. Yeah, there's really interesting things that can happen to somebody in their life. So thank you guys for joining us. Howdy, howdy, howdy. But if there's anything you have any questions for, or need any guidance or information, I'm here for you. We're here to help out the local community. Try to be a fatherly figure for you guys. So I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I'm just saying I'm here to help. What can I do for you? We actually had a video recently. If you look at some of our other videos, we had some where we actually went through and found government contact phone numbers to talk to for different organizations that could help you pay your bills and other stuff. And it was pretty cool. So I also think that tomorrow we're going to do a live stream on storytelling. And for people that are into, like, Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop games, it's kind of fun to go on a, like, choose your own adventure storyline through AI. And I'd love to do that with you guys and see what you guys think of it. I'm trying out different opportunities to see what you guys actually like and what you're interested in to expand Only Fathers. So right now we have the availability for monetization, but we really don't monetize at all. Right now it's just something I'm passionate about, and we help here as well as on YouTube. So, and we got a big jump of followers recently. It's pretty impressive. A couple years ago, the end of COVID, we actually did a video that got like 13 million views on it, and I thought that was pretty impressive. But we didn't have any monetization up or anything at that time. So, yeah, I'm just helping to leave people with better than I found them. I'm trying to help people out, so then be someone others can lean on. And I think my actions will teach more than my words ever will. But when my dad passed away, I think it was a great example At his funeral, there was so many people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and he really made a difference. So I live my life in a way nowadays. I ask myself, am I doing good enough in my life to make my dad proud? And even though he passed away years ago and I am a full grown adult, I still live by those standards. And I feel that that's a good point. Like people that are extremely religious would say, like, what would Jesus do? But I feel that my father has very similar morals as well. So why not have it? What would my father and Jesus do? Because anything that correlates between both of them would still be true as well. So, hope you guys are doing all right tonight. Some people nowadays, we have more and more bad days, but bad days don't mean bad life. We have to keep perspective in the situation that we're in and make sure that we're doing the best that we can, even in a bad situation. And a lot of times, if you work hard and plan things out and adjust your lifestyle a little bit, then you can usually pull yourself out of any situation, giving the right viewpoint or angle. It does make it easier if you have friends and family that can help you, but you don't want to always constantly rely on them. It's important to save them for those times where you really need it. I've had times where a lot of friends and family stepped forward and wanted to help me out when I was starting to get into a pinch, but I told them, no, I want to do this on my own. I want to try to get myself out of this, and I want to do the right thing and chug along and provide for my family and those who I care about. So very rarely do I actually have to depend completely on my friends and associates. It's very rare, but it's nice to know that they're there, that they're available, and that they want to help. But I usually try to do it the other way around, where I would rather have people owe me favors than the other way around. So I'm always trying to make sure that I'm not indebted to anybody. Try to make sure all my favors are paid off, and that, if anything, I'd rather have a whole bunch of people that owe me favors that I never collect, rather than the other way around. Howdy, howdy. Hope you guys are having a great day today. February the 2nd. Tomorrow I have to get up really early in the morning and drive into the big city. I have an appointment with an ear, nose, and throat doctor because I have 5 lumps in my neck. One of them as big as 7 centimeters, which is like a golf ball. They have to get a biopsy to verify if it's actually thyroid cancer or not. And I'm only 42 years old, so dealing with cancer at that young of age is unlikely that it is cancer, but fortunately it's growing slowly instead of a very aggressive form of lump or mass. They call it a goiter, I think it is. And it is possible, though, because I have 5 family members that all have had thyroid cancer. And those are blood relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. Even my sister and my mom and my aunt all have dealt with it. So the chances of it being cancerous is high. And most likely, because it's starting to affect my breathing, my voice, and my swallowing, that I might have to have it cut out, even if it is non-cancerous. Fun times, though. So wish me the best. Hopefully we'll have a good day tomorrow, and hopefully things will go smooth. But I'm here today for you guys. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, go ahead and throw some stuff up in chat, and we'll help right along. So we all have good days. We all have bad days. It happens. I've learned that there's some hard times in my life that I've been completely exhausted and still been able to keep going for the ones you love or the whatever cause that you are passionate about. I went hiking one time in the Pacific Northwest, way out on the ocean beaches, and I was 5 miles out in pouring down rain. It was 38 degrees out. It was almost snowing, ice cold. I had to wade through a stream to even get out to this island. And then when I was out there, I found an abandoned crab pot on the beach that had washed into shore, got tangled up in some nets. And I thought, hey, how cool would it be to drag this crab pot home? And so I started to drag that, and then realizing that it was going to quadruple my time back on a 5 mile hike with an 80-pound crab pot on my back. I ended up making it, but I almost had hypothermia. I barely made it back. I was wearing 2 coats, soaked completely through all of the coats. And when I got back to the vehicle and stuff, it took hours for my body temperature to get up. I couldn't use my hands. I could barely move. And it was actually kind of a scary moment in my life. And I realized that I need to take more careful consideration in what I do. And so I'm not as much of a wild child now as I used to be. At one time I was quite the wild child. But I've settled down, and I know that there's people that depend upon me. So if I do something stupid and hurt myself, it could affect a lot of people's lives. So I want to make sure that I'm still having fun in life and everything, but making sure that I don't make really risky mistakes just for entertainment purposes. But yeah. Hope you guys are doing all right. Hey, Steven. Hey, Robert. Hey, Ross. So yeah, we're just we're having fun today, talking about things. If there's anything you want to talk about, any questions that you have, gladly help you guys out. So sorry, my keyboard is really loud. Hopefully my noise cancellation kind of cuts it out, because it's a mechanical keyboard with blue switches, and it's really loud. But it's nice because it's crisp and easy to type. Yeah. So I've learned too, now that I'm about halfway through my life, I'm over the hill now, I'm over 40, that you don't have to have everything figured out. No one does. I mean, anyone who says that it is, either they're lying or that their life hasn't been tested yet. What matters isn't knowing all of the answers, it's how you carry yourself, while you're still learning, because no one ever stops learning. I've learned so much in my life that I just continue learning. I feel that without growth, then it's like a plant. If your plant's not growing, then it's dying. So I want to make sure that I'm continually growing my education, growing my knowledge base, learning everything I can. I've learned mechanical, automotive, plumbing and electrical, framing with houses, technology, and learned how to use AI and computers. And you can see behind me, I've got 70-inch touchscreen TVs and all kinds of technology around me. So we ended up actually building our own AI server here at the warehouse. So it's pretty good. It runs 2 server processors, 20 core, 40 thread on each of them. So with 512 gigs of RAM and 12 terabytes of hard drive space. And then I use video cards to offset.
Hi guys, my name is Sky.
Offset everything. So that's how we do it. One of the cool things about some of the new private AI servers that you can run on your own network, it can access any Wi-Fi camera systems, wireless camera systems on the network, any other network attached smart devices. So I got here the other day from the government issue. It's called a omnipresence robot. So it's got like 2 wheels, like a Segway, and a post, and then an LCD screen. But you can control it completely autonomously through the software app. And with a little bit of coding, you can actually use your AI script to control this it's like 2 wheels with a pedestal and a screen. So it doesn't have hands or anything else, but it can be controlled by AI. And it's kind of cool. And if I use a cell phone for its Wi-Fi as it's going around, it can go a long ways from the warehouse and still be hooked on the network. And one of the coolest upgrades on it is it's got a little tiny thing about the size of a hockey puck hanging off the side of it. And it's a USB LiDAR utility thing. And as it spins, it sends out a LiDAR signal up to, I think it's 100 feet through walls and everything, and shows different densities. So it can know where the doorways of rooms are automatically. It can know if there's people in there, if there's objects it's going to run into. And it's for like collision detection and stuff. So it can easily work its way around without even bumping into anything. And it's fully controlled by a private AI here. So that's kind of cool. So I use it for like security. It'll go out of the warehouse, run around in all of the neighbor warehouse areas, and come back. And I can talk through it. If it gives me an alert, I can just pull up my phone, log into it, and see exactly what it sees, and communicate right through it and talk to other people. So yeah, it's pretty neat. I think they're like $3 or $4 grand new, but we got it for a couple $100, and it works great. And it has its own docking station, charging station, and all it does is it backs right up to it, and it automatically clicks in and starts charging, kind of like the old Roomba vacuum cleaners. So yeah, it's pretty neat. But back to what I was saying about that, besides the AI, I get a little excited about new technology. I do really like it. But at some point in your life, there's a quiet shift. You realize blaming circumstances, people, and other bad lucks just stop working, and that not because those things aren't real, but because they don't move you forward in life. So with learning and growing yourself throughout your whole life, never stopping education or learning, you also need to learn that blaming people and circumstances or bad luck it doesn't make the situation any better. You can't always take into consideration outside forces like that, but you also know that there's only certain things that you can control yourself. So we need to make sure to move ourselves forward by avoiding those things. Responsibility isn't about guilt, it's about power. If you take responsibility for certain things, even if you didn't do it, it's a good way of moving forward too. Like, let's say if you're a shift lead in a group of people and something happens while you're lead, like one of the other guys screws up. Well, technically it wasn't you, but if you throw them under the bus, that doesn't show management or responsible actions. As the group leader for that event, you should say, yep, somebody happened to mess this up on my shift. I take responsibility for it. And then in the future, you'll have to know, like, well, if I'm working with these people or that people, I'll have to look out for this to happen again, and I'll help prevent it actively. But as a position in most jobs, that's how you get paid more. If you take on additional responsibility, you need to make sure that it's power in that company. They're going to pay you well for it. Some companies try to give you a ton of responsibility, no extra pay, and it's not worth it. They're taking advantage of you. But if you learn those things of responsibility, then you become a more valuable employee and something that people want to keep around. I was working for a construction company for a while there, and I learned everything I could while I was there, even if there wasn't a pay raise involved. But then eventually it gave a stepping block for future things that I wanted to do by having that education. So one of the things I could do was I learned HR, I learned payroll, accounts receivable, I learned to manage all of the rentals the company had. I learned how to manage all the concrete accounts and cell phones, and I took on as much responsibility as I could until I felt almost overwhelmed. And when I left, I actually had to train 4 more employees for the guy. So when I left, that they would have everything covered. But if I go to any other company now, instead of just being an office employee or whatever, I could be HR, or I could do payroll, or I could be an office manager, or I could be, assistant to the owner or something else, like vice assistant to the CEO, because I had so many extra things that on my plate, always learning and always moving forward. It makes me a more valuable person. A lot of people take for granted that with men, it's what can you provide? What can you do? Instead of who you are, which is kind of hard sometimes. But the people that it truly matters, they see me for who I am. The people I love and I care about and I protect. But the rest of the world, a lot of them do see me for what I can provide. But as I continue to grow and do better and learn, then the more I can provide. Like my little doggy down here. Hey, buddy. Oh. Yeah, this is my little buddy. Yeah. Little deer-headed chihuahua. Take him everywhere. Here in a couple minutes, we'll go take a break, okay? Yeah. Yeah, he's getting bored.
you go.
Just hops in his little chair over there. I got him a whole lazy boy recliner just for him. So, the moment you say, this is mine to deal with, and you take control of a situation, even when something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to respond well. That's not unfair. It's just, that's the way things are as adults. It's adulthood. Handling what's in front of you, you try not to do it with drama. You try to do it without needing praise. I mean, that's how you build confidence. That's how, when things go wrong, it makes it look like you don't shake. You know, you can deal with a situation. You can set aside your emotions for the moment. And then when everything's running smooth, then you can deal with it. It's hard, but it shows leadership qualities. On work and discipline, hard work isn't about grinding yourself into the ground. It's about respect. Respect for your time, your ability, your future. Like I said, if they put a whole bunch of responsibilities on you but don't give you any additional pay, or make you have to work in a really confined area, then that's not showing the respect for you that needs to be there, for your time, your skills, and your future. You need to do things properly even when no one is watching, especially then, because cutting corners today or even tomorrow, it collects interest. It makes things really hard eventually. I learned this a long time ago. I thought it was all about speed. Everybody wants it now, now, now. And so when I was working with this company and I had all these responsibilities, okay, I need to do all of these invoices and I have to get all these bills in the computer, but I also need to cut all these checks and have them approved by the management. And then I have to deal with all of these other problems and phone calls and everything else. It was all about trying to get everything done in a small amount of time. But my accuracy on that was like 70% at best. And then all of these corners that I'm trying to cut come back to bite me later. And making things even worse down the road. So then I started learning, okay, well, within 95% accuracy or 98% accuracy on my job, how much can I push through? And the speed came with time, with experience. It's important to not have that one. Don't spend 5 days trying to get a 2-hour job done, but have as much accuracy as you can, and then the speed will come with it. That's an important thing. Accuracy is very important, but not to the point where you spend so much time on something that you might as well not have done it. Time is important as well. And then discipline isn't punishment. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. If you learn that early in life, then life gets quieter, less chaotic, and there's less regret. I know it's something that not everybody teaches, but it's important. So with discipline, it's not about punishing everybody. Choosing the right decision and staying with it. Don't give up. Don't try to make shortcuts. Don't try the easy way out, the get-rich-quick scheme. A life is actually a long time. 80 or 100 years, you can get a lot done. And you can enjoy yourself doing all these things. I saw a video here on TikTok recently where the guy was talking about he bumped into this old man at a gas station and they were filling up gas. And he was talking to him about it. And the old man was sad because his wife recently passed away. And he said, I worked long hours to provide my wife with everything she wanted. I forsook nights and weekends and everything to give her the life that she always desired. But in the end, he wishes that he would have lived in a cardboard box just to have a little more time with his wife. He lived his whole life providing for somebody else, but not taking a moment to give her what she truly needed, was that bonding, that friendship, that love. So it's important that we have discipline in our life, but also that we don't work ourselves to death. We've got to find that balance. And as an adult, that's tough. It really is. I mean, you're going to mess things up repeatedly in life. It's not a flaw, it's a process. I've learned more from failures than I ever have from success. If we always succeeded, then we wouldn't really know who we are as a person. We're like, oh, well, it'll work out. It'll always work out. No, we, I think that our failures make more of a person on who we are than our successes. Some people are like, well, if you could go back and, change something in the past, would you do it? Well, there were some moments where I could have actually had pretty amazing lives, but it wouldn't made me the person I am today. So we need to take our successes and our failures together. So in a company situation or with my family or anything else, as an adult, we need to own up to our mistakes fast. We need to learn from them, honestly. The only time I feel like when something goes bad, when I fail at a task or something else, the only time that I really write it off as a true failure is if I don't learn anything from it. So we need to learn from them, honestly. We need to take the time and truly be like, well, I messed up, and how I messed up, so that in the future I can avoid from messing up again. Don't make the same mistake twice. I mean, if you can help it, it's just important. And failure handled well becomes wisdom. That's how, people have intelligence when they're young. If you're a smart person, you're intelligent. But wisdom can only be made with age. As you make those failures and you grow and you learn and you experience life, that's where all that wisdom comes. Failure avoided out of fear becomes regret. So don't let fear make the decisions for you. It's okay. You can make failures, but don't just jump or avoid a situation just because you're like, well, I'm afraid I'll fail. Well, then you'll live with regret the rest of your life. And being strong doesn't mean being cold, emotionless. It means being steady, being there like a rock in a storm for your family and friends, for the people that you truly care about. Feel what you feel, anger, disappointment, fear, but don't let those emotions decide your behavior. You're allowed to hurt, but you're not allowed to let that hurt turn you into somebody you don't respect. That's a hard thing to do. Real strength looks like pausing before reacting, speaking calmly when you could shout, walking away when ego wants you to fight. Control is power, but quiet control is the strongest kind. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you're a coward. You don't want to fight or anything else. No, a lot of time it's showing you're a stronger person than the person that wants to fight you, because you see that all that fighting won't solve anything, and then there's a better way to do it. But you don't need to lash out and yell at them and tell them they're an idiot and that the right way is this or that, because sometimes people need to calm down, they need to cool off, and they need time to think. And it's important. So, on relationships, how you treat people says a lot about you. It says more about you than any achievement ever will. It's true. Listen more than you talk. Most people want to just be heard, but be kind. Don't be weak. Somebody once told me, he said, Chris, you're a giver. You want to help people out, and you love to give your time and energy to people. And he says, if you find another giver to marry, two givers make the best relationship, because both of you are trying to help each other out, to grow and to expand. And the longer you're around each other, the more you come together for one goal and one focus. You both have different qualities, skills, interests. Your similarities bring you together, but your differences make you stay together. And it's important to be a giver in life nowadays, because everybody wants to take, but almost nobody wants to give. So there's definitely a shortage out there of givers. Remember the way that you treat people who can do nothing for you. That's your character. So when I'm talking to totally new people, I'm not asking anything from them. I just want to help them. That shows who I am. As a person, I just want to help people out. Every choice is a vote for the person you're becoming. So ask yourself, will this help me or hurt me long term? Am I choosing this out of fear, comfort, or courage? You don't need to rush your life. Don't just drift, though. try to find moments, purpose, reasons to do things, goals in the future, small and long term. It's important. Directions matter more than speed. If something costs you your peace, your values, or your integrity, though, it's too expensive. No matter how good it feels in the moment, it'll ruin your entire life. It's important. You need to stand up for certain things and put fine lines in your personality that it's too expensive of a cost. Not everything costs money. And I've learned the older that I get, my most valuable thing is time. I can always gain or lose money. I can gain or lose energy. But time, once it's gone, you'll never get it back. Yep. Life will knock you down. That's guaranteed. What is not guaranteed is whether you stay down. You can be tired and still keep going. You can be scared and still act. You can have bad days without believing that you had a bad life. But endurance isn't glamorous. But it's how real strength is built. One day people will remember you, how you made them feel. Not your excuses, not your intentions, not your actions. Be somebody others can rely on. Leave things better than you found them. Live in a way that this future doesn't have to be apologized for. You don't have to be perfect, just honest. Be steady, be accountable. These are important things that an adult should know. It's enough to build a life that you can stand behind. And even when you're gone, people will remember you. Or at least the people that truly knew you. Thank you guys for coming by. Trying to help you guys out. One of the biggest things that I've learned, it took me till my 40s to really start to truly understand patience. It's just something that wasn't taught to me very well in school. Everyone's like, oh, just be patient. But patience was a hard thing for me to learn. Most mistakes can come from rushing. Rushing decisions, rushing relationships, rushing success, trying to become successful way too fast. Good things take time because you need that time to become the person that can handle that. Let's just say you're 18 years old and somebody gives you $1 million. Are you truly going to be using that money in the proper way? Or you blow through it quickly? Most people that win the lottery within 5 years are in more debt than the amount of money that they won at the lottery. So they're usually in worse life conditions afterwards. So with time, patience, good things do take time. If you're forcing time, you usually break something else. Sometimes yourself, sometimes things around you, sometimes your finances. Slow down. Pay attention. Let things develop properly. I'm not saying take 5 years to do something. I'm just saying don't rush it. Think about it a little bit quicker. Hesitate for a moment. Breathe. How you live with yourself matters more than how others see you as well. I'm not saying think of yourself as an idol or a perfect person or anything else, but have self-respect. If you constantly compromise your values to be liked, if you do that kind of thing, you're going to end up disliking yourself and you'll have no self-respect from anybody else. Self-respect is quiet. It shows up in boundaries, not in speeches. Never do something today that makes you avoid the mirror tomorrow. And I know some of this stuff makes it sound like I'm just like, oh, it's easy. It's no problem. No, these are things you should constantly work on and try to be a better person for. These are big ideas for many people, and everybody's different. So one thing will be easy for one person, could be terribly hard for another, but they're all important. Being kind doesn't mean being available to everyone either. Learn to say no without guilt. It's a hard one to do. If someone gets angry when you set your boundaries, that boundary was needed. Protect your time, your energy, and your peace. They're not renewable resources. Confidence isn't bravado. It's trusting in your ability to figure things out. You build confidence by keeping small promises to yourself, finishing what you start, standing by your decisions, talking less, doing more. Confidence will follow. Humility is a very important thing for people to learn as well. There's always someone who knows more, so listen to them. Don't always follow them, but let it guide some of your decisions. Truly take it to heart. There's always someone struggling. Be gentle with them. Give them some more room to grow. Allow them time to communicate. Humility keeps you learning. Pride shuts the doors, even if you don't use them. Money is a tool, not a measurement of worth. Avoid debt that doesn't build your future, and save before you spend. Even if it's only $20 a paycheck, put it in a separate account. Don't touch it. Because someday, that $20 could be the difference between surviving another month and being out on the street. I've talked to people many a times where only a little bit of money could have saved from a lot of hardships, or given you that opportunity to invest. Like once a year crazy opportunity, and if you had the money, you could have changed your whole life. Financial discipline buys peace, and peace is priceless. Your environment around you, your circle of friends, it shapes you more than motivation ever will. Pay attention to who encourages growth, who respects your boundaries, who tells the truth and not just what you want to hear. Anybody can have a sounding room of people, of yes men, that say everything you want or agree with whatever you think. You can even get AI to do it nowadays if you want. But those people who truly test your boundaries, test your reasoning, your way of thought, it's not always a bad thing, because it gives you grounded ideals, a center to go off of, based off of logic, morals, and trust. If you're always the strongest one in the room, you need to find a new room. You know, they say the fastest way to become a millionaire is to hang around millionaires. So if you want to be an intellectual person, a well-sounded person, a responsible person, you need to find people that are those things that are better than you, more responsible, more educated, more intelligent, more financially firm, and learn from those people. You don't want to be the best person in the room. Big results come from boring habits well done. You have to learn consistency. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just show up every day. Some small discipline every day, practicing consistently. It builds an unshakable foundation. Like people that learned a musical instrument, a guitar, a trombone, a trumpet, a flute, years and years of practice and dedication gave them consistency in their life. And even if they don't ever use that instrument again after a couple of years, it shows them that repetition in other parts of their life. So they could learn to be consistent with the job, with their family, with their children, with anything in life. To be there, to be reliable. It's wonderful. Stay teachable. Read, ask questions, observe. If you don't quite understand something, put down some notes. Go back in your spare time. Do some research. Double check the definitions of things to make sure you're truly understanding what you're saying. Keeps you from looking stupid or for going down the wrong path when something could have been avoided just by understanding the situation more. Semantics is important. Wisdom isn't knowing everything. It's knowing you never will. You don't have to know everything, but you have to be willing to ask. Gratitude keeps ambition from turning into bitterness. Notice what's working. Respect how far you've come. Even if you don't know where you want to be, a grateful person moves through life lighter. Be predictable in the best way. Show up when you say you will. Be honest when it costs you. Stay calm when others panic. Trust is built slowly and lost quickly. Guard your trust with others. Guard others' people trust in you. It's important. You can become somebody else trusts, but it's lost so quickly. You don't need to find purpose all at once either, but you have to have purpose in life. It starts with being useful, being reliable, being kind. Purpose also often shows up when you're doing meaningful work, not while you're searching for it. On quiet strength, though, you don't need to announce your strength. Let it show in how you handle pressure and how you treat other people, how you keep going on when no one's watching. Real strength speaks for itself. I think we've been talking for almost an hour, so if there's anything you guys want to talk about, if not, we'll do another stream another time. But I really appreciate you guys coming by today, looking for some guidance or information, or if you're just curious, we'll be talking later too. So I appreciate you guys today.